Aloha, I'm Kelly Boy De Lima, and you're watching Aloha in the Making.
Thinking back, how did you feel the day your dad passed away?
I was there. I was at the hospital, and I heard you know, his last breath, and I just hugged him and I cried, and I was 19 years old, and I remember sitting out on that, I don't know what kind of tree that is in the front of Queens Hospital, but I remember sitting there for just had to been, it was countless, I don't know how long I was out there. It just seemed like eternity, sitting out there and just crying and thinking about him. And here I had this big, one of the biggest things that ever happened to me in my life. I'm doing this live recording, and my dad passes away.
Tell us about the day of the recording.
Before we push record, this guy gets up on stage and he goes, we just lost Duffy, Kelly Boy's dad, and if you guys wouldn't mind, could we just have a minute of silence in remembrance of Duffy? And oh man, you shouldn't have done that. Because bro, I was like, I just lost it. You know what I mean? All these, memories of my dad and everything that this music made him happy, and you know what I mean? But I somehow pulled it, pulled myself together. And I'm thankful to Ed Marino that he honored my dad. That first album was dedicated to my dad, and there's so many things that I wish that my dad could see. So many things. He never met my wife. He never met my children, his great grandchildren. You know what I mean? And it's just, he never ever saw my career and how it went after that. Everything just took off. And I wish he saw that. I wish he could have seen that. But you know what? When he left me at that point of my life, it was either I sink or I swim, in life. And I tell you, it was plenty ups and downs, but I am grateful for his support and his upbringing. You know what I mean? I'm going to say it again, good and bad. You know what I mean? It built character in my life, and it made me the man that I am today. And I am forever grateful.
Going through such a loss, how do you think you responded?
So, after my dad died, I could either have gone up or down, and for me, I took a turn for the worse. I guess I healed myself, or thought I was healing myself with getting into drugs, and I got more into heavy drugs. I guess that was my way of coping with it and dealing with it. But yet, on the other hand, our career was just exploding. We recorded our second album. It was the one with the three of us walking down the street, and I was medicating, with the drugs and going through all of these situations, and it wasn't only me, it was us as a group. There's a whole group just going down, but still, banging along and trying to, just doing everything. Everything was, we were young, we had plenty energy. You know what I mean? We was doing everything that you could do, drugging and playing music and just living that lifestyle. And we kept playing at Sparky's Lounge, and then Sparky's Lounge kind of turned into us going to I think that was the days when we went to Jubilees. Jubilees now was the new Hungry Eye, or the new, hot spot back in the day. I mean, you had like Brother Walter Ipolani. You had, all of these top groups playing at Jubilees. And this Mama San, she was so, it was a Korean bar kind, with the sizzling steak plates coming out, and the place was loaded. It was a happening place. And we were gigging at Jubilees, and I remember those days being really, really kind of dark times, on my personal life, because the drugs got real heavy. I was taking risk and doing things, that I shouldn't have been doing, especially because I've been blessed with such a great, career, But it's always the case, you always, at times in life, when things is going so good, it's just some kind of hang up, that always tries to pull you back down.
During this dark time, do you feel you had any role models to look up to?
When I was going through this, this drug situation, my dad's brother, my Uncle Louis, became pretty much like my dad. He took the place of my dad, and this was my dad's younger brother. My Uncle Louis was the most generous, giving heart that you could ever meet. I mean, this man, when my dad passed away, we never had money. We never had money to bury my dad. We never had money to buy his casket. We never had money to basically, do anything, to assist. My Uncle Louis did everything. He bought everything for my dad. He bought the casket. I believe he bought the plot, and he bought everything. And my Uncle Louis was, so basically, he did pretty much, everything that, financially, and even as physically, that he could do. And I really, really am forever grateful for him. He was also, he was a big drug dealer as well. And I would go over to his house, and I would, get most of my drugs from my uncle. And he always used to tell me, no go buy from anybody else outside there, boy. You come my house, and I'll take care of you, because get some bad stuff out there, and I'll never ever, my nephew. And anyway, he attracted, and he came along a lot of other was friends, musicians, everybody was drugging and doing, all kind of drugs. So a lot of musicians was very close to my Uncle Louis. And when we was growing up, me, Tiva, and Timo, we thought we were the Hui Ohana. We thought we was going to be the next Hui Ohana. And somebody that was very close to our family was Uncle Dennis Paval. And he was best friends with my Uncle Louis. And Dennis would always be over at the house. When I would go over there, Uncle Dennis would be there. And, I just hung on every single word that, he said. He would tell me, or watched him and watch his mouth move and his phrasing of words. And I remember me, Tiva, and Timo just, we did, you listen to our early album, everything was Hui Ohana. It's like, we wanted to be the next Hui Ohana, And I remember Uncle Louis telling me, well, not telling me, but telling Dennis if he could talk to me. He said, Brother Dennis, I need you to talk to my nephew. Because he recognized this, Uncle Louis recognized this. And he said, this guy, I think, they think that they're the next Hui Ohana, but there's already one Hui Ohana. You gotta, give him some words of encouragement and wisdom. And basically, Uncle Dennis called me over to Uncle Louie's house one night, and I don't know where Uncle Louie was, but Uncle Dennis was in the living room, and he said, "Boy, come in." And I sat down, and he goes, so many words. He told me, there's already one hui ohana, and you have a gift. He told me, this is what Uncle Dennis said, you have a gift that you can sing all kinds of different genres. You can sing Hawaiian, you can sing country western, and that's how my dad kind of set up those books. He was a big country fan, so we would sing all of these different country tunes. They're gonna put me in the movies, and a variety of music, not just island reggae and all these kind of stuff, but all kinds of different genres that my dad would introduce me. So Dennis knew that because he was close with all of our family, and we that's how he presented it to me. And he told me, "Boy, you gotta find your own way. You gotta find your own sound." And that's basically how I remember that night. I remember going home and just crying, and saying to myself, "Wow, he was my hero." As a matter of fact, I did the eulogy at Uncle Dennis's passing, at his funeral, at his celebration of life. I did the eulogy, and I stood up there and I said, this guy was my hero. As a young boy, I listened to the Hui Ohana, and I told them the story, of how he told me to find my own way, my own path, find my own sound. And basically, I attribute the sound to Kapena to Uncle Dennis, and to my Uncle Louie. That, when you hear, that Kapena sound, that's Kapena. From the first ukulele, strum, and basically, they really gave, set that in motion for me. And, so yeah, there's these times in life, and I'm forever grateful that I had those kind of mentors that was inside of my life to kind of direct me and correct me and push me on my way and guide me through life.
What do you think really was the moment that helped you overcome this point in your life?
At this point in my life, I was thinking to myself, you know what? My dad had passed. I was going through, all of these through the drugging and I needed something. I needed to get out of this situation that I was in. I was on a personal side. Like I said, the music side was booming. It was, I was doing my thing. I was, getting to my gigs, but on my personal side, it was just, I was in this slump, and I was living in Waikiki and going to Sparky's Lounge, and that's when I met my wife. The person that I was gonna marry and be with for the rest of my life. I met her, and it was like, she was, like this spark, it was something in my life that I said, wow, we're the same age, and we're like, we got dreams, like her and I would talk, and she had, dreams and aspirations in life, and she came from a musical family also, and so many things that we had in common. And I remember it was Tivaini that performed at the Hawaiian Hut, and I would go to the Hawaiian Hut because Tiva would tell me, "Bruh," he would sing over there, and then he would play at Sparky's, and he goes, "Bruh, we go Hawaiian Hut, we can eat the buffet for free." And I was like, yeah, free buffet. And I remember, listening to this voice, and I told Tiva, "Bruh, who's this singing? Beautiful, her voice." And he goes, "Oh, I don't know, it's the new girl." So I asked Auntie Loke, who is the one that ran the front. I go, "Hey, who's that girl singing, Auntie Loke?" And she goes, "Oh, her name is Leolani." And I was like, wow, she can sing. You know what I mean? Like, she on voice. Anyway, there's our other Tongan sister that was dancing and singing over there too. Her name was Liu. And Liu would always come to Sparky's. So after the Hawaiian Hut show, the whole cast would come down to Sparky's. So one night, Liu brings my wife, and that's the first time that I met her. And she was kind of snobby to me. She was kind of like, she was like, you know, and I was like, oh, hi. And I put my shirt, I remember I had one shirt, you know, the kind of, and I looked at Leo and I went, like my heartbeat is like, whoa, like, and I think she caught that. She was like, and more, she was like, and I even like, look at this guy, you know, and I was like, brah, Leo, you know. And when she left, you know, I said, thank you for bringing her, Leo. Wow, you know, and I don't know, I just felt this, you know what I mean, this connection. And, you know, life happens, guys, you know what I mean? Life happens. And I said to myself, you know, this is it. I think, you know what I mean? I met the person that, you know, is the girl of my dreams. And yeah, so that was the journey of, that was the beginning. That was the meeting of my wife. So no, we did not meet on Instagram or Facebook, because never had that during those days. We met in a bar at Sparky's Lounge. Yeah. Chee-hoo.